So hello everybody and a very warm welcome to State of the Week with me, Andy Clarke, and our special guest this week is the magician, Anthony Sims Jr., rising force in the world of boxing, signed to Matchroom, and we've seen you on Sky on one occasion. That was last August in Cardiff, and we'll be seeing you again on March the 2nd in Peterborough, so very much looking forward to that. So some of the people watching this might not know too much about you, and your boxing story is an interesting one. You've been in the sport for a long time. You started young, and you had a lot of success from an early stage.
Yeah, I had a big amateur background. I'm the youngest I ever met on Olympic trials. Former fighter of Clarke, legendary team. Trained with Freddie Roach also. And right now I'm trying to become a world champion, but in the same process, bring awareness to mental illness.
And so when you were coming through, when you first took up the sport, I mean, was it the case that you were obsessed with boxing right from the start? You kind of fell in love with it right from the start. What was it about it?
Absolutely, it's a way for me to express myself. I had a troubling childhood. It was pretty rough. So boxing gave me a way to express how I was feeling, and I fell in love with the sport.
I mean, it's quite common that, isn't it? People find the gym and it gives them a way to focus their energy, to take them away from some problems they might have elsewhere.
Absolutely, but you know, the problems isn't always materialistic or a household or poverty. It can be within yourself, like mine was.
And when it came to turn professional, you did that fairly young. You did have quite a lot of interest from major promoters. You have a relationship with Floyd Mayweather. He's your cousin, so there was a potential in there. I think some others were interested, but you chose to go your own way, and that in itself is quite unusual.
Yeah, I wanted to make my own name, and I know my worth. So a lot of contracts I just walked over. Wasn't asking for anything major, but when I've put 16 years of my life into this game, I deserve for it to reflect on paper.
And we mentioned your schooling, and it's quite remarkable, really, because you trained at the Clarke, as you said, with Emmanuel Stewart. You've done some training in LA with Freddie Roach, and to have worked with two men like that for somebody your age it's not the norm, is it? Well,
I also lived with Roger Mayweather for 4 years. I trained with him too, so I've been around some of the greatest boxing has to offer. I just soaked it up.
And in terms of your record, 17 fights, 17 wins, 16 by way of stoppage. You were inactive for quite a long period when you were signed with Don King. Things just weren't really happening for you, and then it's about this time last year, actually, just over a year ago, you came over here on a training trip. You did some sparring with George Groves, and that's when people in boxing in the UK suddenly became aware of you, and the situation moved on, and the whole thing with Matchroom happened. It's amazing how quickly things can turn around.
Absolutely. I mean, you have 24 hours in a day, anything's possible. I happened to be training at the gym, wild card. Kell Brook was there. Told Kell Brook, make something happen for me. Talked to Eddie Hearns for me. He did. Ended up coming out here, sparring with the George Groves, coming back, and then got a phone call.
So we're looking forward to seeing you on the 2nd of March up in Peterborough, bringing boxing back to the Fens. Jordan Gill headlining the bill. He sold a lot of tickets. It should be a really good fun night. You're in a 10-rounder and working your way down to super middleweight at the moment from light heavyweight, and hopefully we'll see something explosive again.
Absolutely.
In terms of working the kind of weight down, has that been a plan for a little while, or could you assess options at both weights and go wherever suited you?
Oh, well, I was planning on just fighting light heavyweight and going after a light heavyweight title, but then Eddie Hearns told me, you weighed 171 your last fight, you need to go fight a super middleweight. So we made the transition, and now I plan on fighting super middleweight.
But I'm sure your promoter won't be looking to try and close the door on any potential attractive or lucrative contests at 175 pounds in the future, because in the UK we do have quite a burgeoning, bustling scene, in particular to younger fighters, in Joshua Buatsi, who's a Matchroom fighter, of course, and Anthony Yarde, who's with Frank Warren. Now, people have put those two together for quite a long time now. Would appear it's probably not a fight that's going to happen until a little bit further down the line. But how aware are you of those two?
I'm very aware. Anthony Yarde and Buatsi. A fight that can definitely happen down the road. I said, if it makes money, it makes sense, and if I'm at light heavyweight, it definitely will happen.
I mean, you've had a few things to say about them in the past, and where's that kind of come from?
Well, I call Buatsi ugly. and I call Anthony Yarde, you know, Floyd Mayweather, Money Mayweather, mate. Because boxing right now, what it needs jokers. It has, you know, guys trying to be serious, you know, play the tough man role. What people come out to do is people come out to laugh. So, you know, boxers were entertainers, so it's just entertain, pick and poke. As Buatsi, amazing fighter all around. Anthony Yarde, decent fighter all around. So it's nothing personal. It's just, you know, having fun.
Well, Buatsi would be mortally offended by being accused of being ugly. He rates himself as a solid 12 out of 10 come fight night once he's had his hair cut and got the beard off.
I heard. Good for him.
But in terms of their abilities, though, you touched on it there, and they're very different because Buatsi had a distinguished international amateur career and has got that experience in the bag.
Yes.
Anthony Yarde didn't, and he's very much more been learning on the job. I mean, is it obvious to you when you watch them fight that one of them's gone that route and the other hasn't?
No, not shooting Anthony Yarde down, but, you know, unawareness. You're unaware of what boxing is completely when you haven't been here this many years. Like I said, me and Buatsi, we've seen anything that can come and happen in the ring because we've been around for 16, 17 years. Anthony Yarde's still new, that's still green. So right now he's trying to soak it all up. So when you see these guys fight, you can tell when Buatsi has a guy hurt, he takes his time, he picks his shots. Yarde's more of just, but you know, with boxing and time comes patience and understanding. So you can definitely see. Like I said, very good fighter Anthony Yarde is, but he's still green to a certain extent.
It's interesting because he's got a very good ranking with the WBO, and he's to be congratulated for that. His promoter is absolutely to be congratulated for that. And that's the interesting thing about boxing, isn't it? You know, it's about manoeuvrings and it's about timing. And I don't think they'll necessarily want him to fight Sergey Kovalev, who's a WBO champion, but they could just let that burn slowly and then you just never know what might happen.
Hey, listen, in today's business, so the best move for your fighter is don't throw him in a fight that he doesn't have to take until he has to take it. So very, you know, business strategy move, and you know, it's about who you know. If you know the right people, you can pull the right strings, you can get all the way to the top.
So even though you're looking to move down to super middleweight, these are the kinds of fights I can tell from talking to you that these are the kinds of fights that would, you know, they would flick a switch with you, they would get you going.
I mean, I'm already going. I said fighters don't really get underneath my skin. I'm a joker. I like to, you know, have fun. So, you know, fights like this would be great for publicity, great for the, you know, for the fans, great for the crowd, because it's just going to be, you know, fun and entertaining.
Do you see yourself having any problems with either of them?
Not at all. It's because, well, as a fighter, you're never going to answer that question. Like, yeah, this would be my problem issue. As the mindset of a fighter, you know, you have 2 legs, 2 arms, just like me, and you know, any given day, a good fighter can have a bad day. All it comes down to is, you know, if we, like me and Buatsi, 2 legs, 2 arms, same experience, same height, same strength. Comes down to mindset. So I think, you know, it just comes down to who's a better man that night.
So what are you looking to achieve in 2019? Last year we saw you in August, then we saw you in Kansas in November. You're out fairly early in the year. This year I'd imagine you want to just box as often as you can, but they need to be the right kind of fights too, don't they?
I want to fight 4 fights this year and, you know, build my way to taking the title by the end of this year. I say specific title, no, they're all belts, but, you know, get out there and build experience and build chemistry with my team. For those who don't know, you know, the coach that I'm with, I've only been with him for about, you know, maybe 4 or 5 months.
I mean, it's not an easy stage of your career that you're at now, and the reason I say that is because the ability is there for all to see, but you need to make a little bit of a step up. You maybe need to try and get some names on your record, but the difficulty is tempting people into a fight with you that they will look at as being high risk and practically no reward.
Absolutely. For those who criticize me for the opponents that I fight, the opponents that we won't fight me because there's nothing in it for them. I wouldn't fight me if there's nothing in it for me. If I'm not a mandatory, I wouldn't fight me. You know, if it's not worth taking the fight, I wouldn't fight me. So yeah, right now I am in a tough position. You know, 17-0, 16 knockouts, high percentage of knockouts, and I mean, I'm going for a title.
Are you slightly jealous in a way of the British system? Because we have English titles, British titles, Commonwealth titles, and you could get a title quite early. Then you've got a target on your back, and people want to fight you.
I'm jealous of British period. I love the tea and the biscuits, and I love the atmosphere. I love it here. Like I said, this is a place I would love to be at. You know, boxing-wise, the fans. Like I said, you guys bring an energy that's unlike any place I've ever been. You know, how you watch fights, Thriller Manila, Sugar Ray Leonard fight, Marvin Hagler, how you see the fans are just all out, you know, reaching out when the fighter's walking by and just like crazy. That's how the atmosphere is here, and I love it. I don't know anything like it.
Well, there will be a great atmosphere on March the 2nd in Peterborough. I can guarantee you that. We're going to pack the place out. Jordan Gill's brought a lot of fans down. We'll be bringing a lot of fans, and it should be a terrific atmosphere. Good to see you. Best of luck on the 2nd.
Propaganda.
And thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you again next time.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.